All right, y'all. So I know it's been a few weeks, but I've been meaning to speak on this. We've been having so many good fights coming up, but I wanted to touch on this, man, because yeah, just like we've been saying over here, bantamweight division is starting to pick up right now. Of course, you got the new signees, but you still got some of these veterans out here that are improving, like Yana Santos. Yana Santos just scored her biggest win this past couple of weekends now, and she's been looking to get into the top five, right? She's been looking to get into the top five and make a bigger statement to prove that she's ready for a title shot, right? So yeah, after Yana Santos defeated Macy Chiasson a little while back now, right? Let me look at the date. Yeah, just beginning of this month. Yeah, about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, right? So after beating her, she went on and took to Twitter, took to social media, because I did my little matchmaking Monday, right? But she went on and did hers, and she tagged Julianna Pena and said, "What's up?" She kept it nice and simple. She just said, "At Julianna Pena, what's up?" Right. And whether or not Julianna Pena acknowledged it, I don't know. But I just wanted to talk about that on both sides here because, Macy Chiasson, that was a good fight for Yana Santos, good confidence builder. But, Yana Santos got through her and now she's ready to prove herself. She wants to prove herself. I was looking at a fight with Rocky Pennington. I thought that would have been realistic since Rocky been out, but I know if some of y'all asked, just to let y'all know, Rocky Pennington, she recently had neck surgery, so she'll be out for a minute. She's been having a lot of injuries lately, so you probably won't see her return for a little while. So the next best thing was Julianna Pena. My thoughts on that: perfect call out for Yana Santos. I think that's the perfect style matchup for her right now. She'd be in there with a former two-time champion, somebody that's going to push her, somebody that has the dog, and somebody that's really going to test Yana's improvements to see if she is contender worthy at this point. And that's the thing I like about Yana Santos. Since this 3-fight win streak she's been on, she's really changed up. She was on a 3-fight losing streak, but she bounced back with 3 good wins against Chelsea Chandler, Misha Tate. Now, a top 10 fighter in Macy Chiasson. And with each fight, you've been seeing some improvements. Like I said, of course, Julianna Pena, she is a different type of fighter. She's a dog. She's got that pressure style. She's got her own wrestling as well. But I think that, somebody like Yana Santos, who's seen so many different styles now, and, has just been working with the right people, at ATT, you're going to see like some big changes in her. I never really like been this big Yana Santos fan, but I'm somebody that got to give a fighter credit where credit is due. And I've been seeing her open up more. And that's just what I've been wanting to see with Yana. Like Yana in the past has been more clinch heavy, lay and pray worthy, you know what I mean? Lay and pray type of style. That's where I kind of used to categorize her. I'll be, oh yeah, she's one of those fighters I got to put in that category. But over the past few fights, you see her start to open up a little bit more and be a little bit more fluid on her feet. So I think that's something that we would see her use a lot of against Julianna Pena, which make for an entertaining fight. Julianna Pena's got a good long jab. It's a basic jab, heavy right hand, good left hook, all these different, all these different elements as far as her dog that will bring her forward. Julianna Pena is not like this multi-dimensional fighter, but the skills that she does possess, like her wrestling and her boxing and just her chin, is already a task in its own. So for a fighter like Yana Santos, we're going to see if she has that type of power to get Julianna Pena's respect, or even maybe score a stoppage on her. So yeah, I think that that's a good test for Yana Santos. I'm glad she made that call out. Just waiting on Julianna Pena's side, and that's the question: like, will Julianna Pena answer? And in my opinion, I think she needs to answer that call. I think Julianna Pena really needs to answer that call, because if Julianna Pena still wants to keep proving herself title shot worthy, at some point, you got to go back to the drawing board and prove it to yourself and the fans that, hey, we want to see you in there with the champ again next. I mean, me personally, I don't want to see her in there with the champ right now, because we already know what Kayla Harrison is capable of doing. Say if Kayla Harrison beats Amanda, we don't want to see Julianna Pena running back with her. Or if Amanda beats Kayla and gets the belt back, I know a lot of people want to see that third fight. I would watch it, but I don't think that Julianna Pena would be able to really change anything up in either of those fights right now, because we haven't really seen her go back and take a tune-up fight. So it's really been a while since like Julianna Pena's had like any tune-up fights at this point because for a while, she was out because of the rib injury. Then she comes right back for a title shot, right? And she wins it. Good, right? Good on her. But then she goes and loses the belt, right? Because let's see. Yeah, ever since she beat Amanda Nunes back in 2021, about 4 years ago, she's never fought down anymore. She's only fought championship fights, right? She's fought Amanda in 2021. Then she fought her in 2022. Then she was gone for 2 years, over 2 years, fought Rocky, barely beat Rocky, right? Comes back and loses the belt to Kayla Harrison. So big fights all around for her. So to me, I think this is a good call out that she needs to acknowledge and say, all right, yeah, I'll fight you because hey, I'll prove that I can beat you and still hold my own because Juliana Pena is still technically the number one contender, right? She's still holding that number one spot. So Yana Santos at some point has to be a fight that she takes to defend that number one spot because other fighters are going to call for your spot. All right. Other fighters are going to call for your spot. If the champion's busy and you're the next best thing, fighters like Yana, who's top 5 now, she's number 5. She's going to call out the number one. If she can't get to the champion, she's going to call the number one. So Juliana Pena has to say, hey, all right, I'll do it. Let's do it. So yeah, on Juliana Pena part, she needs to do it. Will she? I don't know because she seems kind of like the fighter right now with the big ego where, she just wants to stay in big fights. But I don't know, man. As of recently, she's kind of had this 180 right now where she's kind of had that, I don't know, that humbling brick hit her a couple of times where she's just been like, oh, yeah, I'm cool with everybody now. So if she cool with everybody, she need to be cool with taking a step down. I'm just saying, man, just take a step down and make this fight because I think it's good. Yana's on a 3-fight win streak. This is the best she's looked in a while. Juliana Pena, hasn't fought the other top 5 contender in a minute or fought down. So we need to see where she stands. Does she still want to keep fighting on? Will she look any different? We'll see. But that's my take on it. Will she answer the call out? I don't know, but she needs to. All right. But what do y'all think, guys? Combo Breaker 99. I like that fight. I like that matchup. Let's make it happen.